Hello trail travelers, it is Kerry with Trail Traveler and welcome to another adventure here. We are doing Kingston Peak today. It's going to be a fairly easy trail, I believe. We're going to get up above 12,000 feet, so we're going to be in the tundra, up above tree line with some hopefully remarkable views. The weather's a little sketchy today. It's either going to clear up. We got some blue skies in some areas. We kind of turn around. We got some blue skies coming in, but we also have some weather coming in. So we'll have to see how it goes. But just even the road to get to where we're going is pretty nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up Rollins Pass Road. Let me spin around here and take a trail off to the left and head up. Then we'll get to the Kingston Peak entrance. So Katarina and I are in Optimus. We got Phil and Dana over there in their 392, and in the back we have Pepper and Mint. So follow them on Facebook and Instagram. They're always doing some cool adventures. So we've got a great crew today. We're all aired down. We're gonna go hit the trail. All right, we turned off of Tolland Road down there near Rollinsville, and we are heading up Apex Road, which is going to take us about 2.2 miles to the entrance to Kingston Peak. And I just wanted to touch on this area right here because we absolutely love this section. It is covered in wildflowers. You got blues, purples, yellows, oranges, whites. I mean, almost every color out here. It is just a gorgeous little area with a great view. Absolutely beautiful. So, nice little place to kind of slow your roll and just take in the sight and the smells and everything right here. It is just a really beautiful section of this trail.
James Peak on your right.
Oh, yeah. Katarina's pointing out that if we look to our right, we can see James Peak. Where we're going to. Yeah. So this is going to be a very interesting trail as we move up through the different altitude levels. You'll definitely see some very distinct levels as we go up in altitude, which I think is very, very cool for some people. So we'll continue our journey here as we head back into the woods on Apex Road on our way to Kingston Peak. Okay, as you get up, you'll get to an intersection and you want to stay on 353, which is basically just continuing straight. If you go off to the left, you'll continue on Apex Road, which will eventually take you over to the town of Apex, which is it's often referred to as a ghost town, but there's certainly more living people there than ghosts these days. So there's a couple old buildings that are kind of cool, but worth checking out. The cool thing about Apex Road is it's a good starting point for a number of other trails, like Moon Gulch, which was pretty cool, Pickle Gulch, and a handful of others. So knowing where Apex is.
Are we on Kingston Peak now? Yes. Just stopped it.
We are essentially on Kingston Peak, but the really main part of the trail is when we see the gate.
Oops.
As soon as the road changes to this 353 going up to Kingston Peak, you will notice that there's a few more rutted areas, a few rockier areas. It brings the difficulty up slightly. Now, for comparison purposes, I always like to, compare what I'll do in the Jeep and what we would do in our Subaru Outback. And at this point, I would have no problem bringing our Subaru up here. It's pretty easy road, and there are still lots of good camping spots, which, you know, they're a little empty today because it probably rained like cats and dogs last night, which is nice for us because it's there's no dust today. So riding right after a rain is always nice to keep that dust down. Now, as you stay to the right on the trail, you'll come up on a sign that says there is a seasonal closure ahead, and a little bit up the trail there, you will get to the gate. And when you see the gate here, if it's open, you're good to go. If it's closed, you're not good to go unless you want to hike. Now, the gate is closed, or it's only open from July to September, usually July 15th to mid-September, which this year we're a little lucky. It may be a little later because the snows haven't hit yet. But once that snow hits, that trail is going to be shut off. So it's only a handful of months out of the year that the gate's open for four-wheel drive. As you get above the tree line, you get into the beautiful Alpine Tundra with these unobstructed views, which is absolutely stunning. Now, this is going to be a very, very easy section of the road. I call this like a 2 to 3 maybe. There's some rocky patches, but nothing that you can't take almost any vehicle over. Looking out to the passenger side, it is some gorgeous views. You're looking out over the Continental Divide and the South Boulder Creek Valley. And on a good day like we had, you can just see forever. So beautiful views from this section, but it is going to get more difficult later on. Now, the trail is going to continue along this shelf road until you get to a parking area, and you can fit a handful of vehicles up there. Now, this isn't a super steep shelf road, but it is a shelf road nonetheless, and some people aren't going to be that comfortable on here, but because it's a very gentle slope, it should be okay for just about everybody. At the 3.9 mile mark, we hit the parking lot here. And this is some amazing views. There's also the James Peak hiking trail that will take you down there. But from this vantage point, you can see several alpine lakes. You can also see off in the distance, Fall River Reservoir, Chins Lake, and Sherwin Lake. So this is just an amazing spot to stop. It's a great time to grab some lunch if you want to, and there's room for a handful of cars. as we leave the parking lot area, it is going to be so hard to forget those amazing views and those gorgeous lakes and those waterfalls. Being able to fly a drone up there and see those waterfalls close up, that was absolutely amazing. But it's time to continue up, and I mean literally up, as we continue to climb up towards Kingston Peak. Now this is a more difficult section of road, and that parking lot is where a lot of people are actually going to turn around. But notice, we are still above tree line, and this is Alpine Tundra. This is very, very sensitive ground here. So you do not want to go off the trail. You don't want to go hiking in some place that doesn't have a already well-established hiking trail, because this tundra is extremely sensitive and can take decades and decades for it to regrow. So be very careful in here. Don't go take your vehicle off the trail, and don't go hiking off trail, because that tundra is extremely sensitive. Now, as we get to the second parking lot, we are going to be facing Kingston Peak. And there is a little hiking trail if you want to go right up to the summit. But we're going to continue on because there's more to see on Kingston Peak. So one of the highlights of Kingston Peak is Rock House. Now this used to be a building, but it has pretty much crumbled to the ground. Now what you're supposed to do is bring a rock from wherever you're from and put it on the pile. And we saw rocks there that were labeled from all over the world. There's also a mailbox here, of all things, and a guest book that you can sign, put your name in it, and leave a note for other travelers. All right, we took a little stop there at the peak of Kingston Peak, and now we should be heading back down to Alice, and then maybe we'll catch another trail if we have some time today, possibly Loch Lomond. But as we come up over the peak here, I'm hoping that we're gonna have some awesome view. At least I hope so. Oh, look at this. Yeah, wow.
There's no doubt it is awesome.
That's a great view right there. This section from where we stopped before, where we took that footage with the lakes and the little waterfalls, that was actually pretty easy. I would have no qualms about driving our Subaru Outback up there. After that, it definitely gets a lot more rockier, and you're going to need some higher ground clearance. I think we might have been able to make it, but it would have been a very, very rough ride, and I think we would have ended up scraping a couple times in the Subaru. But in the Jeep, we're just fine. Any stock Jeep should be able to do this without any problem. But something to point out is, as you look around and you see all the snow that's on the mountains around us. But today is August 1st.
Yes.
So just as a point of reference, we are as deep into summer here in Colorado as it gets, and we are up in the mountains at over 12,000 feet above sea level on a 52-degree day with beautiful green grass and pastures and wildflowers, and we're seeing snow. Coming down is definitely a little, definitely a lot rougher than going up. There's kind of some rutty type areas. There's some bigger rocks. So you're definitely going a lot slower on this way down than we did going up. But the trail is beautiful. It's always guaranteed to be cooler here than it is in town. And boy, the weather we've had lately in the 90s has just been, it's been brutal. It's been a really hot summer. And being able to come up in the mountains, relax up here, get some fresh air, and have some cooler temps. It's really nice. In fact, You know, at 52 degrees up on the peak, almost everybody went and grabbed their jackets. Well, that was Kingston Peak. Beautiful area, great trail, some cool things to see like the mailbox and the rock house. Be sure and bring your own rock. Just a great day, 52 degrees, beautiful skies, and good friends. We got Pepper and Mint Off-Road. Be sure and check them out on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media things. I'll put a link in the description below. Our good friends Dana and Philip were here, and we ran into another friend. So it was an absolutely great day on the trail. And Phil, Dana, trail ice cream, yeah, that's a thing. So we had a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kerry with Trail Traveler. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails. Bye-bye.